All you YB fans, you bitch ass nigga better block me today, nigga. This little bitch ass nigga on this whole payment, doing all type of shit. G Money been said you was a hoe. Finna get on that Fredo shit, nigga. Stamp you niggas. Nah, for real.
NBA Youngboy just violated this goofy Dallas rapper in the most disrespectful way possible. And the leaked footage is so crazy. We're talking about Montana 700 getting smacked up by Youngboy and his crash dummies backstage at YB's own show for some old disrespectful comments that came back to haunt his ass. This situation is wild because Montana thought he was safe because he wasn't even famous back in 2021 when he posted this video. But the internet never forgets, and when those old videos started resurfacing, Youngboy made sure to remind this dude exactly who he was playing with. I got all the exclusive details on how this whole situation went down and how one old video just cost Montana 700 his respect in the streets and messed up his whole career. This is about to get messy, so let me break down exactly what happened when dissing Lil Top goes wrong. How nobody tried to clown the king. To understand why Montana 700 got his face clapped up backstage, we gotta go back to December 2021 when this whole mess started. That's when NBA Youngboy dropped his Black Ball music video, and let me tell y'all, this video had the whole internet talking for all the wrong reasons. In the video, Youngboy was experimenting with his image. We're talking makeup, painted black nails, some artistic expression that had people confused about what direction he was going with his brand. Now, whether you understood the artistic vision or call him zesty, one thing was clear. This was NBA Youngboy, one of the hardest rappers in the game, trying something different. But Montana 700, who at the time was a complete nobody from Dallas with maybe a few thousand followers, saw this as his opportunity to go viral. This dude really thought he could build his career by disrespecting one of the biggest names in hip-hop. The audacity was unreal, gang. Montana made a whole video addressing his fans, talking about how anybody who still messes with Youngboy after seeing him paint his nails and move zesty wasn't rocking with him anymore. He was laughing, cussing Youngboy out, calling him all types of names, basically trying to emasculate a dude who's been proving his street credibility for years. The disrespect was layered, y'all. This wasn't just about the makeup or the nails. Montana was trying to question Youngboy's masculinity, his street cred, everything that makes him who he is. And he was doing it for clout, trying to get attention by tearing down someone who was already established. What made it even more disrespectful was the timing. This was during a period when Youngboy was dealing with legal issues, industry blackballing, and all types of pressure. For some random dude from Dallas to pile on during his lowest moment showed a level of opportunism that was straight up disgusting. But here's the thing about Montana 700. He wasn't anybody at the time. No hits, no buzz, no street credibility. Just another aspiring rapper trying to use controversy to get his name out there. He probably thought Youngboy would never see the video, or if he did, he wouldn't care enough to respond. When success brought old enemies back to light. Fast forward to 2024 and 2025, and Montana 700 started getting some traction in the Dallas rap scene. Nothing major, but enough buzz to get his name circulating and his old content being dug up by fans and haters alike. That's when that 2021 video started making its rounds again. See, this is how the internet works, fam. When you start getting famous, people go through your entire digital history looking for content. Every old tweet, every old video, every old comment gets scrutinized. And Montana's disrespectful video about Youngboy was prime content for people who wanted to stir up drama. The video started getting reposted on hip-hop blogs, Twitter pages, and Instagram accounts. Fans were tagging both artists, trying to get a reaction. Some people were laughing at the old footage, while others were wondering if Youngboy had ever seen it and what his response would be. Montana probably thought he was in the clear. After all, it had been almost 4 years since he made those comments. He was focused on building his career, making new music, and establishing himself in the Dallas scene. The last thing on his mind was probably some old video where he disrespected NBA Youngboy. But that's where Montana made his biggest mistake, underestimating how long Youngboy's memory is and how seriously he takes disrespect. In the streets, there's no statute of limitations on violations. If you disrespect someone, that debt doesn't just disappear because time passes. The resurfacing of the video also coincided with Youngboy being at the peak of his powers. This wasn't 2021 Youngboy dealing with legal issues and industry politics. This was 2025 Youngboy, undisputed king of his lane, with a crazy fan base and the confidence that comes with proving all his doubters wrong. When you're on top like that, old disrespect hits different. It's not just about the words anymore, it's about the principle. Montana had tried to kick him when he was down, and now that Youngboy was back up, it was time to settle that shit. How Montana 700 ended up in the wrong place at the wrong time. September 2nd, 2025 was supposed to be a regular night for Montana 700. His friend Huncho Amir had gotten the call to perform with NBA Youngboy at his Dallas show, and Montana decided to tag along for support. This should have been a celebration, his boy getting a major look, performing with one of the biggest names in rap. Montana probably thought this was his chance to network, maybe even squash any potential beef if Youngboy remembered the old video. In his mind, he might have been planning to apologize, explain that it was just young and dumb behavior and move forward like men. But Montana made a critical error in judgment. He underestimated how much that old disrespect had bothered Youngboy. See? When you're dealing with someone like YB, who's been through industry politics, legal battles, and constant criticism, every slight gets remembered. Every person who tried to kick him when he was down gets put on a list. The fact that Huncho Amir was Montana's friend probably made the situation even more complicated. Amir was getting this opportunity to perform with Youngboy, which was a big deal for his career. But his association with Montana was about to create problems that nobody saw coming. When they arrived at the venue, Montana was probably feeling good. He was backstage at a major show, around successful artists, living the dream that every aspiring rapper has. The energy was probably positive, with people congratulating Amir on the opportunity and Montana enjoying the reflected glory. But Youngboy had already seen the resurfaced video. His team had probably shown it to him, or he had come across it on social media. Either way, he knew exactly who Montana 700 was and what he had said back in 2021. The moment Montana walked into that backstage area, he was walking into a trap he didn't even know existed. The moment Montana 700's past caught up with him. The confrontation happened fast, fam. 1 minute Montana was probably enjoying the backstage atmosphere, and the next minute he was face to face with NBA Youngboy, who had some very specific questions about that 2021 video. According to sources close to the situation, Youngboy approached Montana directly. This wasn't no indirect confrontation or subliminal message. YB walked right up to him and addressed the disrespect head on. The conversation was brief but intense, with Youngboy making it clear that he remembered exactly what Montana had said about him. Montana tried to explain himself, maybe apologize or claim it was just jokes, but in situations like this, explanations don't really matter. The disrespect had already been put out there, the damage had already been done, and now it was time to face the consequences. What happened next is where things got really serious. Youngboy didn't just handle this with words, he had his people handle Montana physically. We're talking about a full-scale backstage beatdown that left Montana 700 questioning every decision he had made in his life. The slapping wasn't just about physical punishment, it was about humiliation. In hip-hop culture, getting slapped is one of the most disrespectful things that can happen to you. It's not just assault, it's a way of saying that you're not even worth fighting properly, that you're beneath someone's respect. Montana's whole world probably changed in that moment. 1 second he was an up-and-coming rapper with dreams and aspirations, and the next second he was getting violated by one of the biggest names in the game. The psychological impact of something like that can't be understated. The fact that this happened at Youngboy's own show, in front of his team and possibly other industry people, made it even more devastating. Montana wasn't just getting punished privately, he was being made an example of in front of people who could influence his career. How Say Cheese protected the streets from going up in flames. Now here's where this story gets really interesting, fam. The whole beatdown was caught on video, and that footage made its way to Say Cheese's owner. For those who don't know, Say Cheese is one of the biggest hip-hop media outlets, known for posting exclusive content and breaking news in the rap world. But instead of posting the video and getting millions of views, Say Cheese's owner made a decision that shocked everybody. He refused to release the footage. His reasoning? He didn't want the situation to escalate and cause more problems in the streets. Think about that for a minute. We're talking about content that would have broken the internet, gotten millions of views, and generated massive engagement for the platform. But the owner chose to sit on it because he understood the potential consequences of releasing it. This decision shows how serious the situation really was. If Say Cheese, a platform that thrives on controversy and exclusive content, was scared to post something, you know it was bad. The footage probably showed Montana getting completely humiliated in a way that would have ended his career before it really started. The owner's decision also shows respect for the culture and understanding of how these situations can spiral out of control. Once that type of footage gets released, it takes on a life of its own. People start taking sides, making threats, and what started as one person getting checked can turn into something much bigger, like someone actually getting his taco tapped. But the fact that the video exists and is being held by a major media outlet adds another layer of pressure to the situation. Montana knows that footage is out there, and he knows that at any moment it could be released and destroy whatever reputation he has left. How YB let the world know business had been handled. Even though the original footage didn't get released, the story started making its way around social media through other channels. Hip-hop blogs began posting about the incident, and that's when Youngboy made a move that confirmed everything. When the blogs reposted information about Montana getting checked, Youngboy liked the posts. Now that might seem like a small thing, but in the world of social media and hip-hop politics, a like from the person involved is basically a confirmation that the story is true. By liking those posts, Youngboy was sending a message to Montana, to the hip-hop community, and to anyone else who might be thinking about disrespecting him. The message was simple. I see everything, I remember everything, and business has been handled type shit. This type of subtle confirmation is actually more powerful than making a big announcement or posting the footage directly. Youngboy didn't need to brag about what happened or make a big scene. He just let people know that he was aware of the situation and that it had been resolved to his satisfaction. The likes also served as a warning to other potential critics. If you're thinking about coming for NBA Youngboy, remember what happened to Montana 700. The internet might forget, but YB doesn't, and eventually, you might find yourself in the wrong place at the wrong time. How one old video destroyed everything. The impact on Montana 700's career has been devastating, fam. Word travels fast in the hip-hop community, and getting checked by NBA Youngboy is not the type of story that stays quiet for long. Even without the official footage being released, enough people know what happened to damage Montana's reputation significantly. In hip-hop, respect is everything. Once you're seen as someone who got violated without being able to respond, it becomes very difficult to maintain credibility as an artist. Montana's tough guy image, whatever street credibility he had built up, all of that got destroyed in one backstage encounter. The situation also affects his ability to work with other artists. Nobody wants to be associated with someone who has problems with NBA Youngboy, especially when those problems resulted in physical consequences. Collaborations that might have been possible before are now off the table. Montana's team probably had to completely reassess their strategy. How do you promote an artist who just got publicly humiliated by one of the biggest names in rap? How do you book shows when people know you have beef with someone who has real street credibility? The psychological impact on Montana himself can't be ignored either. Getting violated like that, especially in front of industry people, has to affect your confidence and your approach to the business. Every time he steps into a room with other rappers, people are going to remember what happened in Dallas. Section 8, the bigger picture, lessons about respect and consequences. Why this story matters beyond just two rappers. This whole situation between NBA Youngboy and Montana 700 represents something much bigger than just one person getting checked for old comments. It's about the long-term consequences of disrespect in hip-hop culture and how success doesn't erase the debts you owe. Montana's mistake was thinking that time would make his disrespect irrelevant. He probably assumed that as he got more successful and Youngboy dealt with his own issues, the old video would be forgotten. But in hip-hop, disrespect has a long shelf life, especially when it's directed at someone with Youngboy's status and memory. The story also highlights how social media has changed the game. In the old days, comments made in small circles might never reach the person being discussed. But now, everything gets recorded, everything gets saved, and everything eventually resurfaces when you start getting attention. For aspiring artists, this situation serves as a cautionary tale about the importance of thinking before you speak. That video Montana made in 2021 probably seemed harmless at the time, just a nobody trying to get some attention by commenting on a bigger artist. But it ended up costing him his reputation and potentially his career. The incident also shows how power dynamics work in hip-hop. When you're on top like Youngboy, You have the luxury of choosing when and how to address disrespect. Montana had no choice but to accept whatever consequences came his way because he didn't have the status or support to fight back. What Montana 700's downfall teaches us about the game. This whole situation is a perfect example of how one moment of poor judgment can haunt you forever in the hip-hop world. Montana 700 thought he could build his career by tearing down NBA Youngboy, but instead, he created an enemy who would eventually have the power to destroy everything he worked for. The fact that Say Cheese refused to post the footage shows how serious this situation really was. When a major media outlet is scared to release content because of potential consequences, you know the violation was severe. Montana didn't just get checked, he got made an example of. For Youngboy, this situation reinforces his reputation as someone who doesn't forget and doesn't forgive easily. The subtle way he confirmed the story by liking social media posts shows the confidence that comes with being at the top of your game. He didn't need to make a big announcement or release the footage. Everyone already knew what happened. The lesson here is simple. Respect is earned, but disrespect is remembered forever. Montana 700 learned this the hard way when his old comments came back to destroy his career. In a culture where your reputation is everything, one moment of disrespect can cost you everything you've worked for. This story will probably follow Montana for the rest of his career, serving as a reminder that in hip-hop, there are real consequences for running your mouth. Whether he can recover from this violation remains to be seen, but one thing is certain, he'll never make the mistake of disrespecting NBA Youngboy again. That's all for today, fam. This story has everything: old beef, street justice, and the type of consequences that make you think twice before disrespecting someone who might remember it later. If you want more exclusive stories about what really happens behind the scenes in hip-hop, make sure to hit that subscribe button. The streets always have more stories to tell, and I'll be here to break them all down for you.